There's a book out which alleges that fame drove Michael Jackson to addiction and confusion. And I guess people could say anything to, do a book. It's whether it's reliable, valid, or whether it's the truth, or whether it has any resemblance in the experience or anything like that. And I admire Mike. I like his thriller, and I like his I'm bad and so on. He came up with some moonwalking. He came up with some unique stuff. But I don't think that it's necessary that fame drove him to addiction and confusion, because there are a lot of famous people who aren't addicted and who aren't confused. Confusion. I mean, Michael doesn't have formal education, it seems. As a child, he started this, singing stuff, and maybe his parents did provide homeschooling and so forth. But you know how that goes. It's like, it's just to fulfill requirements that the government require, or not to get locked up and so on. But I don't really think he had any education. His addiction to marijuana and other drugs and so forth, that comes from maybe his brothers and so on. So I don't think necessarily fame drove him to anything. If he weren't famous, it would be the same thing, because look how many people out there are addicted and they are confused and they are not famous. No, I don't think necessarily that if Michael Jackson wasn't famous, that he wouldn't also be addicted and confused, but more likely he would have been a normal person. Um, go to school like everybody else, go to college, and at least try to get a career or job or something, or join the military or something like that. I think that Mike has, and this is my continuing theme: Halloween and other forms of evil that they get into. I don't know them, I haven't heard of them, but someone needs to research into that, whether he was involved in these things, Harry Potter and all that stuff. Those are what could drive you to addiction and to confusion. Because I met a lady recently, she's up in Puerto Rico here, a prostitute walking up and down the street. And I said, well, why don't you go to college, start over new, go to college, get a degree, and get a job? She says, oh, I've been to college. She was studying psychology, and maybe just had to finish one semester before she graduated, and she just dropped out and held a couple of jobs around. But she confessed that her Wicca, sort of addiction, or she liked Wicca so much that it started messing with her head, and I guess confusion came in. You see, when he said that this is it, it could be viewed several ways. It could mean that he's going to do his best in this one. This is going to be the best one ever. But I think more likely he was hinting on retiring. So he's saying that this is it, man. I got to go. No, you all this money and all that stuff, and you're going. That would be a way that he could be overdosed on propofol. But I think more or less he was tired of the fame that came through his cultic sort of affiliations. Now, he said that after the thriller that he is a Jehovah's Witness, and so he doesn't play with Satan, and that's against his religion and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, Jehovah's Witness basically, they don't have no serious beliefs, and anything goes over there. Furthermore, Thriller is Halloween dramatized, because that's what Halloween is about. Night of the Dead, where the dead coming up and interacting and all this kind of stupid stuff. So that's what it was about, and they morphing into these various things. It became so obnoxious, and even it affected him to the extent where he came up and had to make it clear that he isn't into Satanism, and Satan don't like that if you're with him. He don't like you denying him like that. Okay, but like Indian religions. And then he was into that too, because he was with Dr. Deepak Chopra. And he's Indian, and this guy's levitating, and Michael is sitting down there. Now, if you aren't of the same genre or the same interest, why would you have a kind of Hindu or a Buddhist or whatever he is, trying to be a constant and telling you stuff? and trying to levitate in front of you. I know very well he wasn't levitating anyway. He had a camera that, these picture cameras, wasn't a video, because you were seeing, he couldn't stay up in the air. Nothing goes up, stays up, except something else is holding it up. And that's what levitation is. Somebody's holding them up, and the person is the devil, because God doesn't play that kind of game. Okay, walking across fire, walking on broken bottles. The devil creates a cushion between there that we can't see, but the people aren't harmed because they're not engaging with the real element, the nails or the bottles or the fire. Satan's creating that comfort zone there for them. And so I think that is primarily why he was confused, and that's why he died, because Satan doesn't want you to leave him, right? When he gives you fame and wealth and other things, you just can't walk away. His idea is give it back and apologize and make a straight up statement like, look, I got all this from Satan, I'm giving it back, and I'm going to meet Jesus. Naked I came, naked I go. I don't have nothing, and nobody's willing to do that. They always want to hold back something. And, I think God will tell you to give everything back to Satan, because God doesn't want you with assets that came from Satan. And so, making clear to Satan that this is it, man, he's going to take you out before you even believe. As Santana, I think, in Hotel California, the song, Welcome to the Hotel California. He says, well, you could check out anytime you want, but you can't leave. Now, this whole hotel thing, it was used as an allegory. It wasn't real. It was just talking about. So I called up my captain. I said, please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. He's asking wine. He says spirit. But, wine and spirit could be interchanged, alcoholic spirit. But no, it's Satan they're talking about. It was a seance. And the fellow talking about starving the beast all through the night, but the beast won't die. I don't know what that means. But I understand when he says that you check it, you can't leave. Many people, for example, many exorcists out there, they try to impress folks that, look, I can cast out the demons from this guy. Well, it's not he who casts out the demons, it's Christ who will cast the demons out. But many of these exorcists have a pact with the devil that they don't, he's none of them, and they will not do anything extreme. So in other words, if this person used to, say, smoke crack, and it's alleged that it's a demon that is causing this, well, this guy can jump up and down and the demons can say, we gone by, and instead of smoking crack, he'll be smoking marijuana, which is the same thing, same drug deal. Or he might stop smoking drugs, period, and he start molesting kids. I'm not talking about Michael, I'm talking about generally how it's done. Or maybe molesting kids and now have some girls working the street. So they change from one thing to the next. The devil doesn't go. He stays right there. Right? It will cause a paralysis. He doesn't leave. He might ease up on the nerves or whatever that is causing that paralysis. But the person might end up now being they're going to kleptomaniac, everything they see they want to take. The other day, a lady came to my place here, and she gone in the bedroom and looking around. She has her handbag. I had some coins by a little box of soaps that I have there. And she brought a box and she said, can I have one of these soaps? She said, I don't have any. I said, yeah, take one. But she took also the quarters. So I went back to where she was in the center to eat. And I'm not going to ask her about it because she can say she didn't take it. Okay? But her conscience beating her up so bad that some little nondescript people, they called up for prayer. Come up for prayer, and she went up. And I told her friend, I said, man, she just stole my stuff, so her conscience, and she crying and all that. Her conscience bothering her, now she's going to expiate or give. She needs to give me back those quarters if she wanted to take care of business. Right? So she cried, confessed, have prayer, but she keep the money. So I think Michael's death had to do with the devil getting scared that he's going to leave, take all his fame and his money and go to the Lord. And I don't know if the Lord would have accepted him, but nevertheless, he's not sure how to might develop. And so he takes you out before. So be careful how you, trying to get fame and wealth and so forth with the devil, because he doesn't let you go.